Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be sharing my curated makeup collection for minimalists. So if you love makeup, you love doing your makeup and you want to have a collection that can cover all bases, any occasion that you might want to wear makeup for, you sometimes want to do a full beat, full glam, you sometimes want some no makeup and you want to cover everything in between, but you do not like or maybe have room for a lot of stuff. You don't have a beauty room, you don't have drawers full of products. You want as few products as possible, but you still want to tick all of your boxes. This is the video for you. I'm going to be sharing my 25 products that if you force me against my will to give away my entire collection and then said you can keep 25 products for life, this is what I would choose. These products are small but mighty. They can multitask, they can give you lots of different looks. That's what I'm going to be sharing for my minimalists today. So if that is you, if you want to know what a really small makeup collection could look like and what it could do for you, then keep watching. Okay, so I did a community post about this video a few days ago asking you guys what you thought a small curated collection would look like as far as the number of products in it, because I started making a list and I think I got to about 20 and I thought, I wonder if people who, you know, are makeup bag people who don't have drawers and don't have a room, they have a makeup bag and it could be, you know, large size, but essentially, you know, you have a desk with a makeup bag and that's where you do your makeup and that's all you want and it's all you have the space for, then that's what I was trying to get in the mindset of, because that was me before I started my YouTube channel. I had a very small makeup bag with nowhere near 25 products in it, and obviously now 7.5 years of YouTube later, I have a lot more makeup, but I don't like having that much, okay? At heart, I'm a minimalist, and if it wasn't for my YouTube channel, I wouldn't have anywhere near as much stuff as this. I don't like it. I feel overwhelmed. It's too much. There's too many products and I'm constantly always getting rid of a lot of stuff, gifting it, sharing it, donating it, and just trying to keep my collection as small as possible within the realms of being a YouTube beauty content creator, because you do need a certain number of products for comparisons, for videos, etc. But before that, I was a small makeup bag girly, so I know they still exist, I know they're still out there, and I wasn't really sure how many items you kind of thought would be what you would want, what you would have, what would be in a kind of regular average person, not necessarily someone who's hugely into YouTube beauty content, and if you are, you still don't buy everything, you just keep quite a small number of products. I know there are a lot of people like this who watch and enjoy beauty content but don't necessarily buy everything, because I hear from you guys all the time. So I asked whether it would be 10 to 15, 15 to 20 or 20 to 25 products that you think would be manageable, that wouldn't be overwhelming but would cover all of the bases that you need, and the winner was 20 to 25. Now I want to be clear, it seemed very triggering, this post that I did, this poll seemed to upset a lot of people who obviously have, like me, a lot of makeup, a huge collection, were outraged at the mere thought of these numbers of products, that this cannot possibly cover it all, that, you know, I have at least that many just lipsticks, and that's of course absolutely fine. A lot of us, this is a hobby, we like having a huge amount of choice, lots of different eyeshadow palettes to choose from, huge numbers of lipsticks, but this is just, it's not for us, okay? It's for the people who don't want a huge amount of overwhelming products. They just want a small number of products that will still give them some choice and some fun and will cover a day at the office, to a party, to New Year's Eve, to a date, to a no makeup day, to a university day, everything in between. And so I settled at 25. I think it's still a nice small collection, and looking at it here, it's a nice number of products. It's not overwhelming, but you still have choice. There are also some products in here that you could easily leave out depending on how you like to do your makeup and your own personal style, preference, and your own situation. So we'll deal with that as we go. This of course is just a guideline, and it does kind of lean to my preferences how I do makeup, so I will try and give you some different options as we go along. So kicking off with the boring, some of the most boring essentials, for me at least when it comes to makeup, is brow products. Typically, literally anybody only needs two: a pencil and a gel. Now, I do get my brows laminated, so quite a lot of the time I'm not using anything on my brows. You know, this first sort of 2-3 weeks after brow lamination, they're freshly tinted and laminated. I don't need pencil or gel. So if you're someone who keeps really frequent laminations, then you might not need either of these and you've got two products in hand already. You might just be someone who has amazing natural brows or who you just don't feel the need to do anything to your brows. Again, you have two products in hand already over me. So as the months go by after my lamination, I have it done every sort of 8 weeks. I get to sort of week 4 or 5 and I start wanting a bit of pencil, and then by sort of week 6 I need gel to creep back in. So I don't use them all of the time, but when my lamination has worn off, then I do. So one pencil, one gel, that's all I ever have on the go unless I'm testing a new product. So of course it's my two favorites, the Rare Gel and the Benefit pencil. I don't think anyone needs more than one of each brow product. Some people might use, you know, different products. To me, you might prefer a pomade, you might use something tinted, you might prefer a pen over a pencil, etc. So I don't think you need more than one of each. You know, you've only got one pair of brows, and once you've found the correct color and formula for yourself, one of each is enough for anybody. Next up, we're going for primer. Now, I feel like, again, you only need one primer. You just want to find one that really works well for your skin and does everything you want a primer to do. So depending on what you want your primer to do and your skin type, it will be a different one. But my favorite is the Tom Ford Soft Matte. I'm 40 years old, I have a normal skin type, so what I want my primer to do is basically smoothing and preparing the skin for makeup. I usually use glowy foundations, so a bit of smoothing helps the glowy foundation to just look super smooth and healthy and wear better on the skin, and this one does that for me. As much as I might change my foundation, I very, very rarely, if ever, change my primer. Once you've found one that you love and it does what you need it to do, you really only need one. And again, lots of people don't use primer, so if you don't use primer, again, you've got an extra product. So when it comes to foundations, I know, again, a lot of you will be clutching your pearls at the thought of the number of foundations I'm going to say that we need if we're trying to keep our collection small. But remember, this is just for those of us who are trying to keep our collection as small as possible. I know lots of you will feel like you need 5 or 6 to cover all of your bases. The number that I feel like you need when it comes to just your average person who's not super obsessed with having a lot of makeup or always wanting to try new products, you're just keeping what you really need day to day, is, for me, I'm gonna call it 3, okay? But in reality, we've got 2 foundations and a skin tint. So for me, this covers every day that I could possibly need, every scenario. First up, we have your everyday foundation. This is how day-to-day running errands, school run, work, whatever you do day to day, weekdays, or a normal weekend day is going to be how you want your skin to look. So for me, of course, it's my Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate. It's my most treasured foundation. I love it so much. It's just exactly how I want my skin to look day to day. It's medium coverage, it's skin-like, it wears really well, it looks youthful, fresh and smooth and glowy, and I just love how healthy and natural it leaves my skin looking with the perfect amount of coverage. So that's what I feel like we need. We need one solid everyday foundation that just looks exactly how we want our skin to look every day. Now, I know this is a very, very expensive foundation, so I wanted to give an alternative that was a slightly more reasonable price point, and that is the Dior Stick foundation. It's got a hair on it. The Dior Stick foundation. So this, much like the Tom Ford, is an excellent day-to-day foundation. It wears well, it has a good solid coverage, but it looks natural, it looks healthy, it doesn't look super heavy and makeup-y, which is what I personally want day-to-day. And again, wears really nicely for your average day. So either of these could be like your perfect everyday foundation. That's going to be different for everybody, depending on how you want your skin to look and your skin type. But you want one one really reliable foundation that you love, that just gives you the perfect look, and you know it's reliable. It's never going to let you down. It's never going to do something funny. You can grab it and be quick and know it's going to leave your skin exactly how you want it. And then the second real foundation is your special event or occasion foundation. So for this one, I also went with Tom Ford because you guys, I just really love Tom Ford base products. They really just give me what I want them to. And this is the Soft Matte Architecture foundation. So you've got one for your everyday go-to, nothing special happening type of foundation. And then you want one for anything outside of that. Maybe it's your birthday, it's a special event, maybe it's a super long day, maybe there's going to be flash photography, you might be going to a wedding or a party or an event, and you want something that is going to photograph beautifully, wear very well, and just be completely flawless. So this is my choice for that. You can also mix them together and get something in the middle. You can, you know, thin this one out if it's a bit too much coverage for other occasions. So although you only have two full foundations, you can do, you know, a lot more with them than just use them by themselves. This one is going to give me full coverage, full beat, full glam, and it's going to wear incredibly well and photograph very well, which the Tom Ford is a little scary of an option for that because it has a lot of SPF in it. So you just want something that's SPF free, that's going to photograph well under flash photography, or regular photography is going to look great under a lot of light if it's nighttime, and it's going to be completely flawless and special. It's just going to give you a bit more of a glam look than your everyday go-to foundation. So between these two, for me, I have everything covered, all bases covered that I could ever need. Again, a very expensive foundation. So another option might be the Hourglass Soft Glow foundation. I don't know how well you'll be able to see, but this is almost empty. I love this foundation. Much like the Tom Ford, it's a natural soft matte, wears beautifully, is, you know, a good solid full coverage, really glam looking foundation for a special occasion. So if you want something that's not as spendy as this one, the Hourglass is an excellent option. And then not really a foundation, but a skin tint. I've chosen the Lisa Eldridge skin tint. I love this one. I feel like it's, for me, something that's essential because I do really frequently do no makeup, barely anything. Sometimes I want just a touch of something to even out my skin tone, and that's it. Sometimes I might also go in with a bit of mascara, brows, and a lip oil or something like that. So for me, I want something that's really light for no makeup days, that I still love how it looks and how natural and gorgeous it looks, but it looks like I have no makeup on. It feels like I have no makeup on, and I don't need to do like a whole face of makeup with this. I can just do this and go, and I'll just look really fresh and healthy and youthful and natural, and as if I'm not wearing any makeup. So for me, a tinted moisturizer or something for no makeup days is a must. So that's 6 makeup products gone already, and we've barely begun. We haven't even finished complexion yet. So again, another category I'm sure is going to have people shook to their core if you like to have a lot of choice and a lot of products. But I'm giving us one concealer. I've chosen the Haus Labs concealer because it's my absolute favourite. We don't need more than one concealer, believe it or not. I know we tend to have drawers full and numerous concealers, and for those of us who like to try out new products and find, you know, if there's anything better than the one we're using, it's absolutely fine to have more than one. I'm not judging you. No one's going to come and take the rest of them away. This is just my suggestion if we're trying to keep as few products as possible. Just your favorite concealer that does what you need it to do. We only need one, believe it or not, because one is better than the others. You know, this one stands out for me because it's got such amazing coverage. It covers everything I need it to. It doesn't crease. It's flattering under the eyes. I have a great shade in it that I really like. It blends beautifully and it wears incredibly well. So why do I need to use a different one? I don't. I almost always use this one anyway because it's my favorite. So although me being a content creator and I have maybe 30 concealers in my current collection, I really am only using one most of the time. So, you know, if you're not a content creator, if you're trying to keep as few products as possible, find a great concealer that works for you and just keep that one. That's all we need. And the same really goes for powder, especially for me, because I don't like to set my whole face with powder day to day. And, you know, I have a normal skin type, so I really don't need to do that. This is the Givenchy powder. I only need one because, like I said, I will set my concealer with this. It's perfect. I don't really ever use another powder because I love this one. I don't need more than one. Nobody does. You just need to find your favorite one and keep using it. And then that's an extra product. And it cuts down a lot on space because these are large typically. Okay, so we're going to sashay over to the eye category. Another category that people are really going to sweat about, I'm sure, is eyeshadow. So for me, I am a palettes girl. I typically prefer palettes. You may be a palette person, you may be a single shadows person. Either is fine. I think for me, if I'm trying to keep my collection really small and really use what I have, I think a great number that ticks all my boxes for every day, and I'd be happy for life if I just got to keep these three. That's right, 3 eyeshadow palettes is the number I've given us. So let me defend myself. I know people are going to be horrified by this, but I think we could do it. I think 3 would be fine. First up, you need an everyday, much like the foundation, you need your reliable workhorse palette. I've gone for Natasha Denona's I Need a Warm. It's this palette I use today, and it's the palette I reach for when I don't want to think or do something creative. I don't want to wow any or knock anyone's socks off. I just want to do something that's going to look good. It's not going to be super glam. It's not going to take anyone's breath away. It's just going to be solid and good, and it's always going to look beautiful, and it doesn't require any thinking. It's day-to-day neutrals. I can use everything in here. There are one and done shadows. There are full glam shadows, and it's really versatile. Any neutral look, I can use this and I'm going to get the look that I want. Day-to-day office, one and done, a little bit of bronzy shade in the crease, no makeup, anything I want for my day-to-day, it's going to do, and it's going to do without me having to take a lot of care or thought or attention or be super creative or think that much. It's just going to be easy and effortless for every day. Then I want a palette that is special, that does give me that wow factor, that if I want to knock everybody's socks off, if I just want my eyeshadow to look amazing and impactful and so pretty, and I want everyone to compliment me on my eyeshadow, I need a wow factor palette. So for the wow factor, of course, I chose Pat McGrath's Mothership 10 Mothership X. This is my absolute favorite mothership. And if you were going to take all of my other motherships away, please don't. But imagining for a second that happened and they said you could keep one, I'd be happy with it. This is the one that I reach for all of the time. Anytime I just really want to love my eyeshadow, I want to enjoy the process, I really want to come up with something that I think is stunning, this is the palette I go for. It's just me, it suits me, it's my preference for shades, but it's that wow factor. It's not an everyday eyeshadow palette. Can I get an everyday look out of it? Yes, so it is super versatile still. Can I get a one and done shadow out of here? Yes. Can I also do any party, date night, you know, event that is going to be stunning and really impactful and really make, you know, my whole makeup stand out? This is going to do that. So we need an everyday and a wow factor. So in my defense, I could have said 2, okay? Your everyday and your wow factor, but I've given us a third, and this is your fun. This is the fun palette that can be worn for every day, sure, but it's also going to give us wow factor. It's also going to give us a lot of joy and fun, and it's going to maybe be just something different for us. So for this category, I've chosen the Eldridge Sorcery palette. It stands out so much. It's so beautiful. It's that wow factor, but it's different. It's got some color to it. Again, it's color that suits me, that I enjoy, that I love, that is sort of my comfort zone of color, but it's fun. It's something to play with. It's something to push me out of my comfort zone that's different to what I already have, and it's just fun and pretty. Again, I have one and done shadow options in here. I have softer looks that I can do, or I can go all in wow factor. Everybody's going to ask me what my eyeshadow is, and this does that for me. It's also nice and small, so it's more travel friendly if I'm going somewhere and I just want to do a little bit of something. There's so many options. Between these 3 palettes, I can do any look I want for any occasion. Something colourful, something subtle, something natural, something kapow, something glitzy, something smoky, something sexy. I've got everything that I could possibly need in these 3 palettes. And you'll notice nothing ginormous. Like the Mothership is fairly large, but I haven't got anything that's huge and bulky and takes up a huge amount of space. If you've got quite a large makeup case, all 3 of those would fit in there. So that's what I'm kind of looking for as well. I don't want giant, ginormous eyeshadow palettes that I don't have room to store. Couple of other eye products that, again, some of these might be essential, some of these might be completely unnecessary depending on how you do makeup. I've gone for an eyeliner, so Lisa Eldridge ground coffee. You know it's going to be ground coffee. It's that really smoky, creamy brown from Lisa Eldridge, and it's so reliable. I've talked about this dozens of times. It's going to elevate any look. So I could do just a bit of a bronzy shade in the crease from I Need a Warm and then use this liner, and it's day to night. It's going to smoke it up, it's going to sex it up, it's going to look more sultry. It just gives me more options. It kind of takes a look into the evening if I want it to, and it's going to really finish off any eye look and make it look more polished if that's what I'm going for. Lots of people can't live without an eyeliner, so you may need a black one, you may need a brightening waterline liner, or you might not want liner at all, and then you've got, again, another item to put somewhere else. Now, of course, you're going to need a mascara if you're me, and I chose my Holy Grail Charlotte Tilbury Push Up Lashes, Pillow Talk Push Up Lashes mascara. You guys know how much I love this. I can easily do a softer, more natural mascara look with this mascara, or I can go all in full fat kapow. I can use this on top and bottom lashes. Once you've found your Holy Grail mascara, I feel like all of us, we might have 2 or 3 on the go, but mascaras, you know, they're one of the, if not the quickest product to go bad and go off and stop working how we'd love it to. They dry out quite quickly. So we don't want to have 10 of them, or you're just going to be throwing money away and it's going to be wasteful, because once you've opened them, they're all going to start aging and drying out. So you want as few mascaras as possible. Anybody wants as few mascaras as possible so that they're not drying out quicker than you can use them. But there's no reason, once you've found your Holy Grail and you absolutely love it, to have more than one. You know, they use up so quickly that there's always time to try a new one if you want. 1 or 2 is kind of the maximum we need of mascara. For me, I'd be happy with this one. I use it 99% of the time anyway, except for today, just to be annoying. So now we're moving on to cheek products. And this for me was one of the hardest, because as you can tell, we're already 13 products down. There are only 12 spots left, and we've got to do all of our cheeks and of course lip products. So here is where I would spend my points or my places if we're trying to keep to as small as possible. I know you're going to be horrified, but I've given us one bronzer. Okay, I've chosen the RMS Tan Lines because this is such a reliable, beautiful bronzer. It's nice and neutral, it's glowy, so it gives me a bit of extra glow, but it's not sort of shimmery. It's just giving me luminosity. I could easily wear this every single day, every time I do my makeup. So I feel like once we've found a bronzer, you found the undertone, you found a shade that works for your skin tone in a finish that you love, you want to use it every single day. I know I do. And of course we like to, you know, play around with different shades. And to be fair, hold your horses. We've got some other products that kind of tick this box as well. So just wait before you start berating me about the one bronzer. But I feel like if you found your perfect bronzer, and again, you're trying to keep your small collection as small and condensed as possible, one is absolutely fine, perfect. Your favorite bronzer, use it every time you do your makeup. You only need one. Again, please remember, this is for people who want a small collection. Please stop shouting at me. I know you're doing it, okay? I got a taste of this just from posting that poll. I'm terrified. Now, I do have some other glowy products. So again, highlighter. I'm giving us one standalone highlighter, one highlighter that is our perfect highlighter that we would love to use every time we do our makeup. It does everything we want it to do. I've chosen my Symbols highlighter in the Precious Coral shade, and I'd be happy, let me tell you, if you said you can only use this highlighter every day for the rest of your life, I don't think I'd be upset about it. I'd be happy with that. I love it so much. I want to use this every time I do my makeup, and it has the added bonus of in winter, I can kind of use this as a very soft blushing highlighter as well, because it's got that gorgeous coral shade to it. Still quite subtle on me right now, but once all of my sort of tan has gone from the summer months, this will give me a little bit of a blush as well as a highlighter. So again, we want versatile products. If you're trying to keep as few products as possible, you want as much bang for your buck. You want them to do as many jobs as they can. You want them to be versatile. You want products you can use on eyes and cheeks, for example, and that's absolutely one you could use on eyes and cheeks. If you're fairer, it's going to be a blush as well as a highlighter, and it's just stunning. So highlighter, once you've got the one that just does it for you, you don't need any others. But we are going to get some more glow from these blushes, which is what we're going to talk about next. And me being me, this is where I've been, you know, more generous than lots of other categories, because you know how much I love my blush. So first up, we have kind of a go-to everyday favorite. So I've chosen Chanel's Elegance. It's so beautiful. It's one that, again, it's quite neutral, so it will go with every makeup look I could possibly do. Let me remove that highlighter first. And it's just perfect for any occasion. It's not loud and shouty. It's not going to clash if I've done a pink eyeshadow look or I've done a green eyeshadow look. It's going to go with any eyeshadow look because it's almost perfectly neutral. It has a slight peachiness to the shade, and it's super glowy. So again, although we've only got one highlighter, this is easily a blush that is going to be highlighter and blush in one. It's a blushing highlighter, glowy blush that we could completely skip highlighter and we're still going to be glowing. So we don't really need as many highlighters, I think, as we think we do, because we've got blushes that give us glow, we've got bronzers that give us glow, we've got foundations that give us glow. So we don't need a huge number of highlighters, is what I'm saying. We just want them. I know. There is a big difference between want and need, I get it. Next up, I've chosen the Sisley L'Orchidee blush in shade 1. And again, back to, we've got one bronzer, we've got one highlighter, but this blush kind of does all three because it has all of the shades in here. So you've got a bit of a bronzer, you've got a bit of blush, you've got a bit of highlighter. So this is almost all three in one. You see, it's just here. It's very subtle on me, very buildable, but I can use this winter or summer, and it will sometimes be really subtle and sometimes give a bit more color to the skin, just depending on where my skin tone is at. But it's beautifully luminous, but not shimmery. The Chanel Elegance is much glowier. This is softer. This can absolutely be used as bronzer, blush, and highlighter all in one. So it's a real multitasker. Again, it's very neutral, so it's not going to argue with my eye look. I'm going to be able to wear it regardless of what else I'm doing with my makeup, whatever lipstick I've got on or eye color I've got on, and it's just going to work with everything. Super versatile. I've then chosen one of the Dior duos, and I was back and forth between the other one that I own, which I think is Diorama, and then this is Dior, or is it? I forget what the other one is called, but the coral shade. And then I've chosen Dior Riviera, which is this sort of rosy shade. And again, we've got a duo. So we have another highlighter here. And what's great about these duos is you can absolutely just swirl your brush across them and get a perfect glowy blush highlighter duo. So we have got another highlighter, and the highlighter in here is much more beaming than the Symbols highlighter. So you can see it there. It's much glowier. And now I've got a bit of a color for a blush because the others are quite neutral so far. Now I've got something that's this pretty soft sort of rosy pink, really not the shade I usually go for on first glance, but on the cheeks, this leans quite corally. So I love this for spring and summer. It's going to give me a bit more of a a blush than the first two that stay quite neutral. This one's going to give me a rosier, flushed cheek, and it's very subtle, very easygoing, very easy to use. Again, not fighting really with anything, but it's got a pretty beautiful hint of colour, beautiful sort of pinched cheek effect from this blush. And now we've also got a more sort of party level of highlighter, or I can swirl together. So again, a product that gives me a few options despite only being one item on my list. And then we've got a really big cheat. So of course I had to include an Hourglass holiday palette. And this is one of those items that I know people buy one of these, believe it or not, one when it comes out in usually like September. It's getting earlier every year. Next year, I'm sure we're going to get these during summer. But I know people exist who buy this and they just use this, believe it or not, every day, and they hit pan and they fully use it up in like sort of 18 months. And then they get another one the next year. Those people are out there, they exist, and I'm so proud of you. So I chose the Evil Eye palette. As you guys know, I've kept the colour story in the original packaging so it's not confusing. So this is the Evil Eye colour story in its standard as is packaging. This for me is an essential. If you want to keep your collection as small as possible, but you want something that is one item, it doesn't take up much space, but it's a full face of makeup. You could use this on eyes. It's going to it gives you a setting and finishing powder, it gives you a bronzer, it gives you a highlight, and it gives you 3 blushes. So if you thought I was being stingy, we've now got 6 blushes plus a blushing highlighter, blah, 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 blah. So sorry, I got a bit excited and forgot how to speak. The number of blushes. We've got so many options here. This really ups how versatile your collection is and what it can do. We've got something really sort of that hot, really intense, beautiful blush shade. We've got something that's a bit mauvey. We've got something that's super pretty, sort of apricot shade. So now we've gone from, you know, a couple of neutrals to having this whole array of blush shades, but we've only got 25 items in our entire collection, and now we've really got lots of options. If we want to be super flushed and blushing, if we want something really vibrant, something that's more everyday, something that's a bit mauvey, we want something really glowy, we've now got an extra highlighter, we've now got an extra bronzer, and again this one is a bit more neutral, a bit less intensely luminous. So we've got lots of options now, and I think one of these is a great addition to anyone who wants a small curated minimalist makeup collection. This is going to give you the maximum bang for your buck. Of course, again, you can use these on the eyes as well, so you've got extra eye options, but you can't go wrong if you're trying to keep your collection as small as possible with one of these. It just gives you so many options in a small little diddy space, very travel friendly, is going to cover all bases. You pick the one that works for your skin tone and just how much you use the products. You know, the Dragon palette has 2 finishing powders. So if you use a lot of finishing powder, that might be a better option for you. If you have a richer skin tone, you may prefer the Lotus Flower. It's going to give you richer options. And now I feel like when we look at everything on this hand, we've got more than enough options when it comes to blush, bronzer, highlights. What more could you want that isn't here, you know? I feel like things are looking up, but we're moving on to the final category, of course, lip products. Of course, this is going to be one of the ones that is the most controversial. Lots of you, if you have big collections, if you're not a minimalist, if you like to have lots and lots of choices, whatever number I say here, I feel like is going to horrify you. But I know there are people out there who have 2 lipsticks, you know, and they keep one in their purse, and when they use it up, they go and get the exact same shade. That was me before I started YouTube. I literally had 1 lipstick, didn't really wear lipstick a lot. I'd maybe wear lip balm most of the time. So I know you people are out there who just want a couple of lipsticks. So we have 6 lip products, which is not bad, given we've only got 25 items to play with. 6 lip products, I feel like we can do it, that's enough, okay? So the first thing we want out of our lip collection, if we're keeping a very, very small, minimalist, appropriate, compact collection, is we must have a killer nude, okay? Everybody has to have that killer nude lipstick that is so reliable, that suits your skin tone perfectly, that is the perfect undertone for you, that you can grab for anytime you just want a nude lip. You don't need to think, don't need to go through 20 swatches. You just know this one is your nude. It's just perfect for you. We've all got to have a perfect nude lip that will work and never let us down. Every single time. I've gone for Charlotte Tilbury's Nude Romance. I like the, do you see? I've been trying to use this up for about 5 years, but still, it's very well used and loved for a content creator. This is the perfect nude for me. It's creamy, it's a satin finish, it's her kissing formula, I think, but it's not too light, it's not too dark. It works winter and summer if I'm doing a sort of bombshell date night look, or I just want to have a nude lip. Maybe I've got a really pretty or colourful eye look and cheeks, and I want something to balance it out. Or I just don't want to have to think. I don't know what lipstick. I've got 2 seconds. I'm running out the door. I don't know what lipstick goes. I will grab this because I know it's never going to let me down. It's consistent. It always works. It looks perfect with any makeup look. We all need our killer nude that we don't need to think about. It's Nude Romance for me. I don't need to think. I know it's going to work every time, regardless of the circumstances. I also feel like we need a nude liner that will go with any nude lipstick. So you might choose, depending on your preference, to have 5 nude lipsticks, but you'll need a liner that will work with them all, that's just a perfect shade for any nude lipstick. And I have gone for Lisa Eldridge's 1N. When Lisa came out with these Sculpt and Shade pencils, I was beside myself because I'm always unsure, you know, with tones, what matches, what works. I never know where to start. This is just perfect because it's neutral. So you can use this with any tone of lipstick. You can use it with a warm and neutral or a cool nude and it will work beautifully. It's the perfect shade. It's not too deep. It's not too much. It doesn't make my lips suddenly look very, very nighttime or done. It just is perfect for shaping, sculpting my lips, for giving me a bit of a pout that I didn't know was there, for making my lips look fuller, for giving me a crisper line, and it works with every nude lipstick that I own. So I've got 1 lip pencil, 1 killer nude, and I then have a couple of day-to-day options. So these are lipsticks that I love so much. They give me something different shade-wise to what I've got from my nude, but they're very, very wearable day in, day out. They're comfortable, they're easygoing, and I just love to wear them. So first up, we've got Lisa Eldridge's Sweet Fig, and this is in her Balm Embrace. So for me, I'm always gonna need a balmy lipstick because this is what I choose to wear day to day, day in, day out. Something a bit sheer, easygoing, not super colourful, something I can reapply on the go because doesn't have so much intense pigmentation that I need to do it crisply. I can just swirl this on my lips willy-nilly in the car and it will look great. Same goes for my Dior Addicts, and I've chosen the shade Coral Delight, one of my all-time favourites, because all of the others are kind of neutral and nude, and I want something that's a bit brighter, but still this formula, as well as Lisa's formula, is very buildable. So I can apply this very sheerly and it be very natural sort of hint of colour, or I can build up to here and have quite an intense look. So again, it's giving me that versatility, but I've got an absolute go-to colourful lip that is what I love. You know I love a coral when it comes to my lipsticks. This is like my go-to coral. It can be lighter or it can be more intense, but it's my go-to. Again, it suits me. Perfect for spring and summer. Something pretty but still super wearable. 2 kind of go-to everyday shades that isn't just the same as my killer nude. I then need a showstopper. So I've got my killer nude, I've got my everyday 2, and now I want a showstopper. This is for dinners, drinks with the girls, events, occasions where I want a killer lipstick, a knock them dead, knock their socks straight off of their feet when you walk into the room lipstick that you love, that makes you feel stunning, that makes you feel powerful, that makes you stand out in a shade that you absolutely love. And again, you find very flattering for yourself, for your skin type. I have gone with Lisa Eldridge's Cinnabar. It's here. And this for me is a showstopper. This is so different to any other lipstick I own. The tone is so beautiful and flattering. It's so intense. Of course, it's pigmented and impactful, but you can absolutely use this lightly and tap this in and it will be much softer, but it can also be full-on intense kapow. Perfect for a wedding, perfect for an event where you want to wear a killer, knock them dead, knockout lipstick. Something like this, for a lot of people, this will probably be a red. I know how many of us love a red lipstick, that's a real statement. For some of you, it might be a hot pink. For some of you, it might just be another nude, but there's something special, something you really love about it. Maybe it's a much richer nude, and it's just going to be something that for you, it's your like knock 'em dead color, you know? And then finally for me, I wanted, again, a no makeup day option, something very light, very natural, on the go, maybe when I'm just wearing my Lisa Eldridge skin tint and a bit of mascara. I've chosen a Dior lip oil. This for me, I wear when I've got no makeup on. I just want to have a bit of glow to my lips and I want something hydrating. I'll wear this when I've got no makeup on, something like just the Lisa Eldridge, maybe some mascara, maybe a bit of bronzer and this, and it just always works because it's so sheer. It makes your lips look like glass. It's beautiful. The glow, the shine is gorgeous. It makes them feel lovely and protected, but it doesn't add much color. So it just means it's not going to fight with anything. It's not going to not go. You know, the other day I went to the cinema. I had literally a bit of my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Poreless Primer mixed with my tanning drops on my skin and some mascara, and that was it. And I think I'd put on maybe one of the Balm Embraces, but I forgot to take it with me. So when the film was finished, I just wanted something on my lips, and I keep these permanently in my handbag for that purpose. And I didn't need to think, oh no, it's going to be too much, given that I basically look like I have no makeup on, because it's never too much. It's just got the slightest hint of color and it just feels lovely. It looks like you've got something on your lips. It gives you a little bit of, you know, balance to your face. Particularly, I've recently learned that I am a medium to high contrast. I don't know if that means anything to anyone, but for me, it's important for me to have something on my lips. And of course I have my lip blush. So I don't necessarily need lipstick all of the time, but this just makes my lips stand out and look luscious and pouty without me having to think or worry about the color because it's so barely there. So this happens to be Bronzed Glow, but any of these are going to serve that purpose. So again, we have Cinnabar, then we've got Nude Romance and Lisa's Liner, Sweet Fig, and then Dior's Coral Delight. And then if you can barely see it at the bottom there, that Dior lip oil. And that's it. That is our 25 item makeup collection. And I know the thought of this might be horrifying to lots of you, but don't worry, you don't have to do this. This is only for those of us who want to do it, who want a small collection, and you can absolutely look at this sort of condensed collection and build on it, depending on what it is that you want more of. So for example, you might not be a big eyeshadow person, maybe 3 eyeshadow palettes is enough for you, but you need 30 lipsticks. Or, you know, perhaps you aren't really a lip person. Maybe like me, you've got a lip blush, so really you only ever wear lip balm or maybe something like the Dior lip oil, but you want 10 eyeshadow palettes. So you can really build on this. This is a great sort of groundwork place to start from. This, I promise you, as we've talked about today, is going to cover all bases for the average person and more. You still get quite a bit of choice, but perhaps you want to add or take away and balance it out for your own preferences. But I just hope either way, if you're someone who is overwhelmed by makeup, you don't want dozens and dozens of products of everything, drawers full, you want a large makeup bag that contains everything for every day, and you still can have fun and you still have a choice in the selection to choose from, and you can still cover all your bases. I hope this was helpful just to look at what this might look like for you. Please let me know if you are a makeup minimalist, but you still love makeup, you just don't love a lot of stuff in your house like me, then please let us know. What does this look like for you? Are you someone who's got a small makeup bag with only 4 or 5 items? Do you have drawers and drawers full? Do you feel overwhelmed by your makeup, or is it the more the merrier? Please let me know. Please let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. But I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I would love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.